Hi everyone, it's Jen, and I've just got off the Tourism Australia webinar, and there were some really interesting insights. I missed, unfortunately, quite at the beginning. The recording will come out, which I'll then rewatch, but I got Philippa Harrison and her presentation piece, and I thought it was really useful on several levels to I wanted to decode some of the key learnings out of it and what I took from it to share with you. Now, I will be distributing this to any of my tourism clients that I've worked with in the past, currently, and feel free if you would like to extend it out to any of your network, because it's very useful for us right now to have some really practical tools to implement within our tourism industry. And the more we understand the way to get out of fear is to think about stop consuming the noise and the sensationalism and I guess the struggle and stress of all of it, and really go from consume to create, which is about creating your own vision for the business that you are in right now, and for those of you that are supporting others within the tourism industry as well. So go from consume all of the noise and the chaos and the craziness, because there is absolutely no denying the reality that we are currently facing right now within the tourism industry. We want to go to create, so that's looking at creating the support tools, the media messaging or the marketing messaging that we want to have out there right now, creating the conversations that we want to be having right now, and that includes with clients, with the consumers of your tourism products, services, whether that's regionally, whether that's as an inbound tour operator, or as an actual tourism operator within the industry, okay? Now, little moment, please, bit of housekeeping. Apologies if you pick up any noise from the kids at school. They are sitting at the very other end of the house. Recess time, I can hear the crackers and noise crunching. So please excuse that as we keep moving through. So these are kind of the top takeouts from Pip's presentation. I'll just refer to my scribble notes. So it's pretty random as I was writing down thoughts. The really nice thing that I guess some of the inspiration that came from Pip was very much stay top of mind, okay? So that's for your current existing client base and members. She absolutely didn't downplay how things are right now and what we're going through. However, she really wanted that message to be about focusing on being ready for recovery. What are the steps that you have in place now to be ready for the recovery? It will come. She also indicated we don't know what that looks like yet and what that timing will be, okay? But what could it look like, and how ready will you be and your business to take off, or the business of others that you're supporting, okay? Because this video is actually going to tourism operators. It is going to inbound partners that are working within the industry, and it is also going to regional tourism officers that support others. So again, I'm messaging this on several different levels. And likewise, you're welcome to share this with those that will need it as well. I really liked the way Pip said Tourism Australia will be managing the tone. So again, reflect that into your business. How are you managing the tone around dealing with whether you're needing to shut your doors, okay, which many tourism businesses have literally had to shut their door. So how are you messaging that to your consumers and clients and customers? Be very mindful of that tone and the energy. And then also there is an appropriateness, okay, because people then don't want to be looking like they're out there messaging, come and visit us, come and travel with us, when they can't. So again, that appropriate tone and care factor, okay, is what will help. If you show how much you care for your customer and client now, that loyalty will be reflected back in kind down the track, okay? So she also used the words Aussie hand of friendship. I love that, okay, because that's what we're known for. Australians are known for their mateship, okay? So how are you extending that mateship from your business to others, whether that be to your customer or perhaps to your colleagues, your industry colleagues and others out there? Are you reaching out, or are you feeling at the moment just very, what I'll call insular and closed and only looking within your four walls? Are you able now to think outward and go, right, let's create the productive conversations. Let's look outside, and who could you be talking to? Who could I be talking to that will help my business grow now? And even if it's not, grow is probably the wrong word there, stabilize, okay, through this stage. And I guess we're going to have different levels of crisis as well for where different businesses are at. So what conversations, who do you need to have around you, and who can you be supporting within not only inside your four walls, external, okay, industry, region, and beyond, and also reaching out to your industry partners. I think internationally, that mateship, that hand of friendship and warmth and care would be so great if you were also reaching out to industry partners around the globe as well, particularly because I know many of you work in that international space. She did also point out that everyone will be dreaming about Australia. It is very okay to think, well, how can I still be educating and planting those seeds about future travel experiences, whether that's for domestic travellers or international travellers too. And I think the nice thing about that was that I've been using myself and seeing a bit of the hashtag, like when you are ready for or dream about. So how can you be inspiring people down the track to becoming? And again, it is around tone of messaging. It's never too early. There are some messages already coming out. And I think there are a really nice change up and mix up of social feeds, for example, or email messaging as well. So the training piece she also talked about in terms of, I think the education now is around creating the messages that you want your market to be seeing and hearing and experiencing. So how are you training? She mentioned 800 people in India got onto the Aussie specialist training session last week. Imagine that, 800 are now being trained as Aussie specialists, or possibly getting on for some retraining because they're sitting at home and available now. So think about, how are you educating? And depending on where you are within the industry, is that to your consumer directly? Is it to agents? What messaging can you be putting out there to help train right now? And then working together with operators to get that message out. I think with technology now, we're so fortunate. You can showcase a farm tour, a walking tour. You could be going and taking people to all the natural, beautiful spots. And if you're the inbound operator in this case, you're actually, or regional tourism office as well, you're getting your suppliers to provide these video links, this video footage, the interview experience that you could be getting people to be doing to, again, educate. You don't need to have all the content, because you go into the suppliers and get the content created. So if you're a supplier right now and you're sitting there going, but I don't have this content either yet, and I can't actually get, so let's say you're a walking tour and you're physically isolated here now in Sydney, but you can't get to Tassie to showcase that walking tour, can you get any of your guides out? Okay, is there anyone that is available or lives close to? Or can you use old footage? Do you have any old video footage, even if it's you 10 years ago, that you could then repurpose? Okay, going back to old blogs that have been written, how can you repurpose some of that old content with a different tone and a different angle right now, okay, to help keep that message alive and just help people feel positive, feel inspired? Even your videos of peace and quiet will help inspire them and motivate them again as well. So she talked a lot about the recovery process and I guess some of the steps they're doing. And I do preface this with, I missed the beginning with a few of the key people on as well. So I'll come back to you later when I rewatch that. But for the moment, she talked, Pip specifically talked about the aviation industry, and their first port of call will be very much to help aviation remobilise, was the word she used. It won't be overnight once borders reopen, so there'll be a domestic focus followed by getting aviation into the air, and obviously those historical airlines that have supported Australia and flown to Australia, getting them back on board. Likewise, I found the message around, domestic first, because there'll be a great, I guess, hunger and appetite for getting out of the house, because trust me, parents at home, kids at home, that isolation will be great, but we'll also need to then get out as quick as we are able to and allowed to as such. So they'll scale it up, okay? And they'll go through that scale process as appropriate with time frame, so that then when it's internationally ready, there'll be the airline support for that. There'll be the TA marketing dollars support. And again, they are choosing priority projects right now that will help the scalability and the speed of recovery or speed to market process, okay, to make sure that those dollars will be invested really wisely back out in the marketplace again, which is really exciting. She did also say that, I'll write up here the words, the message around, I forgot the current, I've just had a complete mental blank on that current marketing message that they just started with, which they've had to put on hold, but they feel that that will still be really pertinent. and using that with some tweaks, okay, and appropriateness. So they really want to have everything in place, ready to go. So they're doing a lot of planning now around that. They also have the great benefit of being able to do some consumer insights. And this one is something I want you to think of in your area of the business, in the industry now. How can you consider what consumer insights do I need to be getting right now? How can I be going, whether it's to your international agent partners, whether it's to your consumer and customer right now, to even ask the questions, well, what would you like to be hearing? What do you want from us right now? Where are you at? And I think this needs to be tailor-made. This isn't just a blanket approach for every single consumer in your database as such. It's like, how can I make this appropriate and tailored? And whether you go out, this is an example, to your top 10 operators, if you're a regional tourism bureau, and say, listen, what could really help you right now the most? Or do you go to your international agents and say, how can we help you the most right now? Or if you have consumers, what would you like right now? Okay, how can we best serve you? Now, I believe with your experience, and you've all got phenomenal expertise, I know. The people on this, that I've made this video for specifically, I know you have this expertise, okay? We've worked together for many, many years and we've known each other over a period of time. You and your team have the expertise for this, okay? So trust that you already have this. It's really tailoring, what do you think they could need right now? Okay, with that expertise, that hindsight, that back of my knowledge, pull it to the front now. Even if you need to sit down with a big piece of white paper, okay, get the blank paper out and brainstorm with your team members, whether it's remotely on Zoom or whether it's in your Microsoft Teams, whatever system you're using right now to communicate as a remote team, or if you're a socially distanced team within the office, and I know some of you are still on site because you haven't got that capability and technology to be off site. And some of you are sitting in a boardroom and some of you are sitting in the kitchen room and some of you are out in the office space. You're spread out, okay? Still, you can brainstorm. What will our clients be needing right now the most from us as a business and as an organization? And when you come from that heart space, I'm going to call it, some of you will have heard me talk about heart space before. Can you even see my heart? It's there, okay? And I'm feeling for each and every one of you right now, and I'm here for you. And I want you to come from that heart space and think about your customer, consumer, and clients, okay, and operators, okay, and suppliers. How can you now, as a team, create the messaging that they want to hear from you? What identity do they want to be seeing from you right now? Do they want you to be going quiet and doing nothing for them? Or do they really want you to stand up and speak from the heart of what you can provide and offer, and the services, the training, the behind the scenes? What we'll call this, what can we call this period now? What's a good word for it? You know how airplanes, they like take off and then before they come into land, what is that called? I've said a mental blank. When they're circling, okay? I consider we're circling now. If you and your business is grounded, I want you to take off again, okay? And it's not going to be at a great height. You're not actually going to be flying, but I want you to think about it now as you're in circling pattern. There could be another word for that. And if you know that word, please message me, text me, or email it through to me. I'm a mental blank. But I want you to think now, what will keep my business circling right now, okay? Until you're able to take flight and get more flight, okay? And go to destination and land in port, okay? Trust this analogy is useful for you to put it into your business context for right now. Okay, let me just check my notes again. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, and you want to email them to me, message me, text. Most of you know my phone number, 0400 508 108. Please text me. Of course, you'll find me on social as well, or you know me already on social media. Jen or Genevieve Matthews, or The Art of Extraordinary, if you pass this on, for example. And in case you did pass it on, it's jen@theartofextraordinary.com, my email. I'm checking tips from Pip. What else came? Our big piece was around flexibility, okay? Because the timeline's really unknown of what this is going to look like, how can you and your business be flexible, be ready, yet flexible? So if things improve quicker, can you take off quicker? Okay, and I mean, not just from that circling pattern right now, but can you get air quickly? So that's where flexibility and adaptability is really key right now. I think I've covered most of it for the moment. TA are doing these regularly. Okay, they're going to be doing the weekly webinars. So if you haven't gone onto their website and logged in, please do. They also will have a recording of this session, so I believe they would have that re-accessible for everyone. So let me know if it's not, and I'll get hold of it for you. Trust that's really useful. Again, please come back to me if there's any questions. And thinking of you right now, here for you at the moment, always. And let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Bye for now.